Hey, what's up, Dr. J? Um, it's gonna be my final project. Thank you for signing me basketball. I know you did that on purpose. That's pretty clutch. um, okay, well, as you know, I played Division One basketball at the University of North Florida, so know pretty good amount about it. Go over some basics, and also to incorporate some of the stuff we learned in class. I want to talk a little bit about dribbling. We use our finger pads to dribble. You don't want to smack at the ball, of course. And right now, I'm raising my son, and he likes to try to do that from time to time. So one thing I like to tell him is to use his finger pads, which you said in class. But what I like to call it is like act like you're Spider-Man. Like, how does Spider-Man climb up the wall? He uses not like this, but he's always like that. So I always tell him to dribble like he's Spider-Man and to really be elbow driven, because then you still can't flick your wrist too much like this. That's how you shoot. So I always tell him to push down on the ball, nice and firm, act like he's Spider-Man every time. That's one of the basic skills. You can't really play basketball until you know how to dribble just a little bit. Then there's also passing. One arm pass, there's right hand and left hand. And I think, there's a number of ways you can pass. Once you get more advanced, you have wraparound passes, like wraparound bounce. You have right hand LeBron, left hand LeBron, overhead, a bunch of different passes. But the basic kinds, just a one arm standard, chest pass with your right and your left. I would say hold your hands nice and firm, probably chest height, nice and firm grip. And you're getting ready to throw. You want to get in your triple threat position, and you want to get nice locked and loaded. If you are throwing with your right hand, then your left hand is like going to be on the side of the ball, and you're going to push with your right hand behind the ball, really snap down the direction that you're going. Kind of like it's kind of like a weird correlation, but when we did the frisbee, or like how you threw it and your finger snapped right down the way you're going. Same thing with your right hand pass. You're just going to flick it right to them, nice and crisp every time, with your fingers pointing in the direction that you want to throw. It's going to be the same thing with your left. Nice firm grip, triple threat on the left side of your body. You're going to push with your left hand, snap, really point direction you want to get it. And that'd be the same thing with the bounce pass. Overhead pass, actually one of my things. I like to call that, the way I like to call it is the soccer pass. I think that's actually what we used in your class too, is called the soccer pass. Always have to explain to kids that they can't pull it too far behind their head, because if they pull it behind their head, they're going to throw it up. There's no way that they can throw a nice crisp pass. I try to really tell the kids I work with and my kid that, one, don't let it go past your head. Act like there's a wall here blocking you. And when you go, you're not going to worry about throwing it with your arms as much as you are really getting your whole body into it and stepping. Because if you look at me, if I'm just throwing like this, that's not much momentum. I could probably throw it a decent bit, but a kid couldn't. So what I try to do is I tell them, hold the ball on top of your head, let it actually be touching your head, and then really just lean your body back, take a huge step forward, and just see how far you can throw it like that. And then once we have the big step down, then try to throw your arms into it. So it's a full body momentum, full force pass. And you would be surprised to see how kids could throw it. And also, with that being said, when you throw it, you're not pointing your arms up when you throw it, because it's obviously just going to go up. It's going to be the same thing. You're throwing it, probably thumbs more down, but really pointing in the direction that you want the ball to go. And of course, a two-hand pass like that still takes a little bit of coordination, because a lot of kids, are going to use their dominant hand, really ring it back if they're right-handed or if they're left-handed, but it'd be nice getting nice and symmetrical with that. No, move my arms all over the place, but layups. Layups are awesome because, one, easiest way to score in basketball if you can get to the goal. As a post player, but I was always down there, and just kind of what I did, that and hook shots. Number of ways to do a layup, but just go over the basic ones. The way you teach it at the beginning is, you say you're one step away from the basket on the right side. You're going to stand on 2 feet. You're going to step in with your left foot, and you're going to go up with 2 hands, especially if you're little. And you're going to eventually, when you can, lead off with one hand, your opposite hand, and your opposite leg is the way you're going up. Nice and high off the glass. If you're doing it overhand, that's fine. You can also do it underhand. Now, of course, if you're going underhand, you have to have a little bigger hands, more control of the ball. So with kids, you're probably just trying to get it with 2 hands from the shoulder to really launch it up, but really go through your right hand. And if you're on the left side of the goal, start with 1 step. Take your right foot in, and jump up with your left hand. Face that goal. And again, this is probably more of an advanced move. So go backhand. Catching, I think the best way to learn how to catching a basketball is honestly just watching football. You can't catch the ball if your hands are down, but it's also hard basketball because you're always moving, but you always just want to have your thumbs pointed down. You can even act like you're catching a football. I mean, it's not even that big a deal. You just want to trace it and really catch it with 2 hands, get on the nice side of the ball. A lot of kids, you tell them to catch it on the side and keep going, but when they're young, it's still just better they catch it. So have your hands a little bit wider, basketball's a little bigger around. When the ball comes in, let it hit your hands and really grab it on the sides, get ready to dribble, get ready to shoot, whatever it is. But yeah, you just can't play around when you're catching and make sure you're getting it. So when the ball's coming at you, be ready, trace the ball, just act like you're playing football, get it, get ready to attack the goal. Rebounding, the last thing I want to talk about here a little bit. Probably the biggest thing in basketball at the college level, that and defense, which rebounding kind of goes into that. Rebounding is a man's game or woman's game. You got to really get in there and you got to want it. To be honest with you, I was never a good rebounder myself. I was always in good rebounding position. I'd box out well. You get nice and low and be ready to go. You're always gonna be lower than the guy who's trying to get it, because if you can sit on him and you can get low on him, he can't jump. And if he does jump, then he's likely gonna go over the back and cause a foul. But for kids, I'd say act like you're a sumo wrestler, get real low, backpedal into him, keep your arms nice and wide so he can't get through, and just battle. And a lot of ways that we teach, or that I teach kids to rebound effectively at this age is when, elementary school age, is there's a drill where you have to box out like that, like sumo, real down low, nice wide arms, and you gotta box out the person on offense who's trying to get it, and you have to let the ball bounce before you even grab it. And it's also a good way to work on your catching. But you get nice and low, nice sumo stance, nice wide hands, and you box them out and give it all you got. It's a battle. It's the best way to describe it. It's really just a battle. Who wants it more? And you really got to let that ball bounce before you get it, because kids get in the habit of just chasing the ball if you don't. You can even add a second bounce if you really wanted to, but I think 1 bounce is a good way. It's a good modification, a good way for kids to learn that they have to really hold off that person in order to grab the rebound. But that's me on basketball. Kind of got off topic a little bit. It's hard to make a 8+ minute video in a row. But yeah, so that's a lot of dribbling, passing, layup, catching, and rebounding covered. Probably need to get a little bit better at describing it, because I know a lot about the sport, but it's hard to sometimes recognize that, and being able to teach it to a 5-year-old kid who's never even begun to think about the sport. But thank you for everything you've done for this class and being super flexible with me and helping out a lot. With all this stuff that's going on with me, you've been great all along. I hope to really just take a lot of stuff with me and really help make a difference, and be fair to all kids in the school area. But yeah, thank you for the class, and thank you for giving me basketball for sure. See ya.